it's the first time that we're working together. As I said, Adrian has been one of the influences in my personal life as well. And the funny thing is, when I actually gave my first ever paid workshop as an entrepreneur in China, and that even sounds crazy, it was actually in your Motivate Shanghai community here in China. So, and right afterwards, I had met you, and Adrian, he has like this military background, and he gave amazing advice on relationships and on like communication. And then last year I took his neuro-linguistic programming course. Like, I feel like he always has the right advice, the right kind of motivation, knows the right people beyond China and Australia, around the world. And I can just say thank you so much for being with us and for having a positive impact on so many people. Stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Nadine. Thank you very much. And thank you all for coming. And I noticed a couple of familiar faces. I see a lot of familiar names. And I just saw Johnny as well, the other Johnny. Okay, everyone, thank you very much for coming. In today's session, I'm going to cover a couple of things, and I'll give you an overview because this is a really, really important subject. You know, some people believe that, oh, money's bad, or money's a root of all evil. And we want to get past all that pretty quickly because money is how we're going to survive. I don't see many people exchanging items to get on a plane. I don't see many people connecting to their landlords and you know, swapping something. We're using money. So money is incredibly important. So we're going to cover this topic and we're going to go a bit fast, perhaps. But this is a paramount, this is a super important topic, not just for you, but for everyone behind you as well. Your kids, your family, those that watch you. Because where do we learn about money? Where did you learn about money? Now, guys, I'm going to ask some questions, and I don't always need answers, but sometimes I will. And the important thing is that you think about an answer in case I pick you. So where did you learn about money? Where did you learn how to become rich? Did you have people that were financially successful above you sharing with you? Did your parents sit around the table with you sharing how they made money? Or was it a bit of a taboo? So for a lot of people I discuss with all around the world, it's really been a dark area that hasn't been looked at. So I want to look at not just rich people or rich habits, rich minds. I want to look at the millionaire mind. I want to look at the millionaire mind. And then I want to run you guys through a little kind of beliefs test or a beliefs assessment where you can actually move the scale across and you can assess your own financial beliefs as we go. Then at the end, I'll probably give a bit of a summary around that and dive into Q&As. I believe we have about 40 minutes to go. So do feel free to throw any questions in the chat window. I love to have interactive. I love to hear your thoughts and questions. So do feel free to throw it in. When it comes to literature, I've read most of it. I see in the chat window already Napoleon Hill, Harvey Eker, yep. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Nassim Taleb. If it's a good money book, I've probably read it. But I haven't just read them, I've actually gone out and done them. Stocks, options, properties, residential properties, and a few other things. So I actually dive in and do it. And as you guys know, I do training for anyone wanting to change their mind rapidly. I absolutely love coaching because when I was reading these kind of money books, I didn't have many people to bounce ideas off. I could ask my dad a couple of questions, but I'm reading these books about money. And it says that most people, when they get a tax return or a chunk of money, they buy a bigger TV. When my family got money, we got a pool in the backyard. So I saw this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I saw, oh, damn, I don't have a rich dad. I don't have rich mentors. So I went the really long way about it. I went a really long way about it, and it was a slow but solid journey making it. So I love coaching so much because we get to rapidly accelerate that. The main thing we want to do for coaching with money is find where the limiting beliefs are. And anyone that's done my training knows the key ingredients of a belief.
Doing dinner.
So I'm sure people have heard of limiting beliefs, and I'm sure people have heard of the mute button. So please feel free to use the mute button, especially if there's background noise. Thank you very much. Wonderful. You like the way that can just blend in there? So all beliefs are limiting. If you believe this is a chair, it's probably not a staircase. Hey, Mark, mute please, brother. So as soon as you believe this is a chair, it can't be a staircase. Let me just see if I can mute these people up. Sebastian, mute please.
Yes, Mark.
Lovely. Thank you very much. And apologies, you guys missed a bit of time. So this is a chair. So in order to believe it's a chair, it can't be a staircase. All beliefs are limiting. If you believe you can make $1,000, or if you believe you can make $1,000 and save it in the next month, great. But does that mean you don't believe you could make 10? If you believe you can be financially free in 3 years, does that mean you can't be financially free in 1? We want to really raise our awareness of our financial beliefs. And what Johnny was sharing in the last session is 100% spot on. And if there is any belief that you want to change, it's possible. But to change it, you've got to be able to write it down. So as soon as you identify a limiting belief around money, or something you think might be, we want to write it down. And for anyone on the training now, if you have any limiting beliefs about anything in your life, any beliefs that you think might be stopping you, write them down. Next time you're talking with a coach or in a session, you can bring it up again. Okay, so through this literature, I often saw things that were a bit conflicting. On one side, I learned about people that were very good savers. They were very good at conserving their money. And this is a camp I came into. Working hard, getting money, and saving it. And once we start to go beyond saving it, we start to invest it. Key thing for anyone getting financial freedom is saving more than we spend. So there are 2 key ways to actually accumulate money and become rich, or financially free and financially abundant. And this is a camp I was in. Hardworking, saving, hardworking, savings. When I bought my first property, I looked at 100 houses. I looked at 100, and I saw maybe 10 that were like excellent, but I wasn't going to buy until I looked at 100. You can imagine that took some time, but I did it. There are some traits that come over here, and a lot of my Chinese friends might fall into this category. We work very hard. We save our money. We might walk around to get the best deal. We might spend more time in exchange for a little bit more money. Now, these people can make their first $1 million US through hard work, saving, and slowly getting up there. Could be a psychologist, could be a coach, could be a nurse, maybe a doctor, but doctors can make more. But maybe a doctor or an engineer. I've got a GM in a factory. A couple of my clients are here through saving it. And when they go to buy a car, they take a long time, they shop around, they do the maths, and they live within their lifestyle. And then I've got some clients that are in a different ballpark. I've got some clients that they have an extra high salary. They have extra high money coming in. They got plenty of money coming in, but very little time. Could be more like a lawyer, someone who's making a bit more, rather than just a psychologist, maybe owning a psychological practice. Yeah. Earning more money, but also spending it more. They won't look around the shopping center, or they definitely won't look at 100 properties. You see, they might even pay too much for a property because they don't have time to look at 100. They might go and buy what they want. So they'll go and buy what they want, and they won't buy the best investment. They'll go buy what they want because they've got plenty of cash flow. And this is what we call cash flow rich. They get here, they make their first million and second million because they got a high cash flow, but they spend a lot of it. And these people over here save and save and save. These guys over here, they might buy some wine, but it might be a bit cheaper. These guys will buy the expensive wine. Maybe the Grey Goose vodka. These guys are like, oh, we're not going to buy the Grey Goose vodka, it's expensive. Yeah. Do you find yourself relating to one or both of those camps? Do you find yourself relating more to this or relating to more of this? And by the way, I don't really know anyone that's making 1 million plus through a side gig. So if you have a little side gig or a side project or a side job, I've never met anyone that's made more than a few, maybe 100 or so thousand from a side gig. Side gigs help, but so you might find yourself with some of these traits and some of these traits. Now, this can be really challenging for an avid reader because you might talk with someone who's rich and over on this side, and you might get advice or listen to the opinion of someone on this side. And this person says, don't waste your time looking around, looking for the best deal. Buy what you want. And the person over this side will be like, don't buy what you want. Take your time, look at the maths, think about it, find a few properties that are like excellent first. Time the market. Wait for a good deal. Screw waiting for a good deal. I'm going to go buy what I want. So your average person is caught in the middle and they're seeing opposing beliefs. Does anyone find that a bit challenging? You might see a picture of the person in a suit with the bling bling. And you might find a person just wearing a shirt and you know they're a millionaire. It's rather challenging. And to me, I decided to take the best of both worlds. I took some of this and I took some of that. I help some of these guys realize that they can do some of that. And I help some of these guys realize that, hang on, if you're going to spend so much time shopping around, what's the value of your time and other better things you can be doing? So everyone's got it really clear, right? There's two different ball camps for millionaires. And I'm talking like 1 million, 2 million US dollars. What about when we get to $10 million? When we get to 10 million, I personally see a bit more of both of these. And this is extremely cool, guys. I've got a client who's made his first million over in this camp, and he's having challenges with his wife. And I have a friend up here or a client up here, he's got about 10 million, and him and his wife go to romantic retreats every year, except for 2020. They will fly to places like Sedona or Paris, and every year they'll spend a week doing some kind of romantic thing without the kids, or a couples love or intimacy workshop. They invest a lot of money in their EQ, in their relationship. But a lot of people down here are trying to save their way to the first million. They don't spend. They don't spend. And I see this so often as a coach. People in this side of the house, when I get a phone call for the coaches in the house, when I get a phone call from someone over here, their primary concern is how much does a coaching cost? And we're going to totally change that around to what's the ROI, what's the return on investment. So people over this side of the house, they're very worried about investing in their development. And they'll often sit still and they won't step out. Because of that, they end up staying here for a very long time, and the journey is very, very slow. People over this side of the house, they often end up spending, and their debt piles up as their assets pile up. And the difference between their assets and their liabilities, it goes up, but it doesn't go up a huge amount as well. These guys end up spending a lot of time and money looking after the Joneses or trying to compete with the Joneses. But there are some beliefs that are very common amongst both parties. Now, I just want to check, do I have ability to do screen share? Yes, I do. I have ability to do screen share.
Working.
Yay. Would you like to assess your financial beliefs?
Yes. Sounds good.
Now, you know, I study the mindset stuff. I've trained a whole pile of people. I've worked with multimillionaires. I've had training, and then I've asked my clients. I've asked and I've run clients through this test. So the link is in the side window, and I'm going to share it right here. So you guys can do this for free. And this is a simple set of questions. If you like, you can put your email in. It's optional. But there are some questions here. And what you want to do is just simply move the slider across. 0. Sadly, 0 is the majority or the mainstream. In the middle there is neutral, and on the right side, we've got rich. So the very first question here, guys, is rich people believe I create my life. Poor people believe life happens to me. So what you want to do is move the little meter across, and you will get a copy of this. You will get this. So if anyone wants to do this live while we're talking, you can open it up and do it.
For everybody based in China, you might need...
I hope you don't need a VPN, but it's possible. You shouldn't, but tick.
A VPN. It's very
slow. So there's a link in the chat window, and if you actually do this as we go through it, you can actually check your beliefs while we go through it. You say, is this going slow? Now, guys.
The link for me just takes me to your main page. It's not taking me to the actual test. But maybe, but I see your link looks right. So I don't know. Okay, maybe it's just me. Okay.
If it doesn't take you straight to the test, there's a button there called freebies and articles, because I like making heaps of free stuff. Freebies and articles, and then just below freebies and articles is a free wealth test. I made a Myers-Briggs thing like...
Free. Let me send this.
That's it.
Yeah.
I got a Myers-Briggs test there I made almost a decade ago, a relationship one and the money one. So this is a money one. And the good thing is, guys, if you go through this now, you can actually get it and you can see your own beliefs in real life, in real time. Now, honestly, do you really believe you create your own life, or are you more likely to believe that life happens to me? Swing it all the way to the right, all the way to the left, or in the middle. So if you happen to find something here where you're on the poor side, on the left side, that's totally okay. And I think that is awesome. That is excellent. If as soon as you find yourself going on the left side, that is excellent. That's really what we want. Because as soon as you find yourself going on the left side, you can make a mark of it, make a comment on it, or if you actually do it, you'll get it in your email. But as soon as you start going over to the left side where you're like, oh, I don't really know, or maybe on the poor side, that is excellent because that means you've found something. And if you find something here that doesn't quite seem right, that's excellent because that's the stuff that you can change, or you can talk deeper with a coach about that later. So the first one, I create my life or life happens to me. Move your scale along. The second one, rich people play the money game to win. Rich people play the money game to win. Poor people play the money game not to lose. Take your pick. Which one do you believe? So move your slider across. Third one, rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people want to be rich. It's totally okay, whatever you believe, so slide your little thing along wherever it is. Rich people think big. Poor people think small. Move your slider across. Rich people focus on opportunities. Poor people focus on obstacles. Move it across. Rich people admire other rich and successful people. Poor people resent rich and successful people. Okay, now I'm just going to pause right here. Questions? Anybody want to disagree out loud? Feel completely free and welcome to.
Maybe slow down a little bit, especially for the people who are non-native speakers.
I'm a non-native speaker too. Sorry, guys. Okay, now I am going a little bit fast, but you've got the link and you can go through it again later. It's really great if you can do it live.
So I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
All right. On this slider. So if I have the two things and I might believe a little bit of both, does that mean I'm neutral? Am I basically going towards which side I believe more, or which?
Yes. Yes. And
What
what
if
side
I
you believe more, it's got to be congruent or authentic to you.
Okay. And if I don't believe in either of them, then it's just neutral?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying. I'm not an IT guy. I'd love for it to automatically come up in the middle and you had to move it. And there's actually at least one of these that might be the other way around. Bit of a trick question. So I hope everyone is able to actually do this at home and make it pretty interactive, eh? Rich people admire other rich and successful people. Poor people resent rich and successful. You can often hear this with your friends. If you're in your friends down, Shintendi and you see a Ferrari go past kind of thing. Rich people associate with positive, successful people. Poor people associate with negative or unsuccessful people. Take your pick, move it where you like. Rich people are willing to promote themselves and their value. Poor people think low about selling and promotion. A lot of people think badly about selling. But it's saying here that rich people are willing to promote themselves and their value. Poor people think low about selling themselves and promotion. Any questions about these? Nothing conflicting yet. Great. Rich people are bigger than their problems. Poor people are smaller than their problems. Now, for a lot of you, that'll make complete sense, right? Because if you're bigger than your problems, you're going to be able to go through it. But there's a lot of people that might not feel that. Now, rich people are excellent receivers. Receivers, as in when people give you gifts, you can take them. I just bought something the other day. I bought something and I went to give the lady an extra $5. And she was like, oh, no. I'm like, no, I like the product. It's cool. You dropped it off for me. You saved me some time. Here, have it. She's like, no. It's okay. Rich people choose to get paid based on results. Poor people choose to get paid based on time. Do you prefer to get paid on results or paid on time? Ooh. Rich people think both. Poor people think either or. An example of this is I was working with this gentleman who just made his first million, and we were talking about having your cake, and this is an English idiom. He said, you can't have your cake and eat it too, meaning you can't have everything. And I was saying to him, are you sure? I believe you can have your cake and eat it. I was coaching this guy before he got his first million that he could have the cake and eat it too, or he could have the cake and the cherry. I believe that he can have them both. But a lot of people believe there's a choice. Now, do you guys want to have emotional freedom or financial freedom? Both. And why not have both? You deserve both. Being wealthy is just like being healthy. Health, wealth, they're exactly the same thing. To be healthy, you eat healthy food and not so much McDonald's and Coca-Cola. To be wealthy, you do the healthy things and you don't use like credit cards and consumer debt. Quite simple. Wealthy is completely healthy and natural. We have these cause and effect statements. Like if I have money, I won't get to spend time with my family. That's bullshit. If I be wealthy, I won't have time for my family. These are two completely different things that have been put together. Time with family, money, they're separate things. But a lot of us put these together, and this forms a very solid limiting belief, and that's something we really want to change. And that's a cause and effect. Time with family equals, if I get rich, it means I'm an asshole. If I talk about money, it means I'm a bad person. That's not true. None of that's true. Some people put these beliefs together, and some people say, no, break that. I'd say break it. Make up the beliefs you want, and you can change all of these beliefs. So moving forward, rich people think both or either or. Measure where you are, and you might want to write down if you're not thinking that you can have both, because you can have both. Rich people focus on their net worth. The net worth, by the way, if you don't know your net worth, I've got in here, or you can ask me. I have a video and all. I did this for Janine a couple of months back. I got a video showing you how to figure out your net worth. And if we got anyone that's an investor in the house, I'd like to know how we take it a step further and measure our purchasing power which is more advanced, but just measuring your net worth of cash. Rich people do focus on their net worth. I know this for a fact. When I speak with people that have a high value, they know what they're worth. They have a rough picture of what they're worth at most, if not all times. A lot of poor people I speak to, they don't have a clue about it. They got great hearts, great souls, beautiful people, but they don't know the net worth. They were never taught this stuff. They never learnt it. Damn. Rich people have their money working for them. Poor people work hard for their money. So if you've got rich people or a rich mind, your money is working for you. I don't know how much money I've made today. Probably 1,000, 2,000. I don't know. It's my money's working for me. I just wake up in the morning and I could go have a look. Yeah, I can just see my money each month. It's going higher and higher because my money's working for me. Hence, I can do what I like with love and passion. Where most people, they're working hard for their money. And most people do work hard for your money, but you don't have to. All you need to do is slowly get that nest egg growing. Rich people act in spite of fear. Poor people let fear stop them. Rich people act in spite of fear. Poor people let fear stop them. Was anyone here going to invest in cryptocurrency this year but didn't? It's okay if you didn't, or if you did, that's totally fine. But did you consider investing in crypto and didn't because of fear? And by the way, maybe it'll crash. And perhaps we don't do it because we think it'll crash. So in that case, are we still not acting because of the fear? And by the way, when I bought my first property, yeah, I was scared, but it wasn't a risk. It was calculated. Rich people are constantly learning and grow. Poor people think they already know. Just like my opening talk, I mentioned there's a 21-year-old kid telling me the stock market was going to crash. I thought I knew what was happening, but my ears were open. We can constantly and should constantly be growing. Rich people believe that companies exist to create value. Poor people believe that companies exist to create jobs or to serve them. Facebook isn't here to serve you. Facebook's here to make money from you. So you can put your scores in there, and if you want, you can put your details in there, and I would suggest you put your details in there, and it will get emailed to you. When it gets emailed to you, you've just got a little link, you can open it up, and then what you can do in the next couple of weeks, you can reach out to Johnny, reach out to Janine, reach out to a coach, share your coach where you're going weak, have a conversation about them. Relax a little bit. Come back and do the test again and see how it's changed. One conversation with the coaches and you might be able to change 2, 3, or perhaps even 4 or 5 of these across. Underneath the beliefs, we have dominoes. You know dominoes, those little things, dunk, 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 and you line all these dominoes up and you press the domino and it goes. We often have dominoes, and those dominoes could be key beliefs. Those dominoes could be experiences we had as a child. One of my clients, when he was young, his father gave him some money, and he gave his cousin some money as well. And my client and his cousin went into the shop with the money, and my client bought, I think it was CDs, and his cousin bought 1 CD and saved the rest of the money. Client came back out, spoke to his dad. Dad, I bought the 3 CDs. I've always wanted these CDs. Yay! And his cousin's like, I only bought 1 CD and I kept the money. His dad was like, son, you're hopeless with money. You should be more like your cousin. He saved his money. Client goes forward in life and he thinks he's bad with money. Rather than coaching him on all these beliefs, we did a simple NLP process. And when we spoke about money, this memory really stood out into his brain. This memory was a domino. We did a process on that domino and it changed everything. His whole attitude towards money and his test like completely changed. Okay, got one more thing to share with you guys. But how are we doing? I know that was a bit fast, but I wanted to actually make sure you guys could test yourself. Go, tick. Okay, there's a couple more things, and you might want to consider these as key points. We always want to live below our means. Live below our means. Spend less than what we earn. Unless you're spending it on developing your capacity. 2, rich people allocate time, energy, money efficiently to create their wealth, to create the life they want. They actually allocate time, energy, and money to build the life they want. Yeah, millionaires, and even those that are just getting there, they're often taking money out and investing in their growth, growing their businesses, or growing their mindset. 3, rich people believe that financial independence is more important than displaying high social status. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Sorry, another English idiom. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses means don't try to keep up with the trendy people or the trendy stuff. Because your financial independence is more important than your social status. And once you get the financial independence, you'll realize that the social status is a bit of a trap or a bit of a gimmick. Most people that go on to make millions do not receive much support from their parents. So if you don't have rich parents, if you never got a lot of financial support from your parents, that's the best news you could possibly have. If your parents gave you a lot of money, you're less likely to be, ultra successful. It's the same for their children. Rich people often focus on taking advantage of the market, take advantage of what's happened. Don't miss out on a good crisis. Events like February, March last year and events like the last week are opportunities where the rich get in and make more money. Why not? Because rich people see a crisis and they think, well, there's a crisis. How can we go back to the second point? How can we create more of the life we want? Rich people kept thinking about the crisis. They're not thinking about the crisis. They're thinking it's a crisis, but what are we building? There's a crisis. I hate it. But at the same time, I'm thinking, how am I going to look after myself? How am I going to look after my children? Well, I'm going to do that by building my financial intelligence, building my intellectual intelligence, and really going forward during this crisis. Instead of crying all day or looking at Facebook like, I'm figuring out how I can move forward. Rich people are proficient in taking advantage of the circumstances, whether they're up, down, or sideways. A lot of the rich people choose the right occupation to be in, but this is more important just for your first nest egg. Once you've got past your first maybe 100,000, once you get past your first bit of money, enjoying your profession is more important. And most millionaires are married, and they're happily married, and they contribute a lot of their success to their partner that supports them. Very few make it to high benchmarks with unsupportive partners. So if your partner doesn't support you, you might want to look at changing that relationship. Not necessarily changing the person, but changing the relationship. Final point. Rich people believe in more deliberate, planned education, not formal education. You see, the masses believe formal education, certificates, university degrees, but then they go out there and try to get a job and compete with everyone else. Whereas these rich people believe in more deliberate and more planned education. This could include an apprentice model where they work under someone for free just to learn how they do it. And this sets them up to own the business, own the practice, and shoot forward. Rich people will go on things like boot camps, seminars, traveling abroad for sessions, attending things like Janine's Monday morning motivation, so peak performance stuff, and spending 80 kwai or 200 kwai in upgrading to a higher class ticket. When you go to an event like Tony Robbins, JT Fox, or Harvey Eker, a lot of people up in the audience are spending a few $100s, and there's a few people up the front that are spending thousands. Rich people will be down the front. Why? It's a better experience, and then the neighbors next to you are also probably millionaires. When I go to things like Tony Robbins, I got like doctors, surgeons all around me. That's where I'll be in the front with these guys. And I want you guys to be there too. You should be. Now, I've got a PDF that Janine will send out afterwards. The PDF will have the link to that test. And I've also got a free course. Well, sorry, it's not quite a free course. I've got one of these online programs. The online program goes through identifying. We've got exercises where we go through and we update your financial beliefs. We update your definitions on success. I've got all this stuff in a online course, but I don't sell the course. It is for sale. It's about $1,000 US or $997 US. You're welcome to have a look at it. It's also free for all our students. But this will come out to you in a PDF, or maybe I'll be able to drop it in here. Now I'm going to shut up and engage with you guys more with your questions.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much, Adrian. Okay, let's use another 5 to 10 minutes to ask Adrian whatever is on your mind. Unmute yourself or send your question in the chat group. Who of you has done the wealth test now? Also, download the file that Adrian has just sent.
There's a little PDF in the window. The window has about 10 points that we ran through. This is all analyzing the rich mind formula. But hey, you just got to find the beliefs, pull them out, and get coached on them. Or update your whole value system. Update your value system around money. Update your value system around wealth. And perhaps do some things like timeline therapy and stuff like that on those old stories you used to tell yourself. It's actually rather kind of simple for the NLPers.
Maybe I can quickly share before we go on the questions. I actually had a coaching session, one-on-one coaching session with Adrian on money. And it was crazy what happened within less than 1 hour. And suddenly I was talking about my grandmother. I never would have thought that my grandmother has something to do with like money. And I was crying and all these things. And we did not even have a video call, just a phone call. But that 1 hour call was very, very powerful. It was really amazing. Okay, Alicia, you had a question, right?
Yeah, I have two, but I can ask one, and then if nobody else asks, I can ask the second one. The first question was, I was trying to get the notes, but the second thing you said about the key points at the end, what was the second one? Because I missed that. I couldn't get it all down. Please.
I've put a PDF in the chat window, and the PDF has a collection of key points, and it's actually got in there the money test and this money course I made up. I made the money course because I had so many people asking me about money stuff. So
Makes
I just
sense.
made a course.
The other thing I wanted to know is for those people who believe in kind of the law of attraction, like myself, how does this factor in? Right? Because sometimes I have a hard time with that because you're supposed to save, you're supposed to live below your means, but then in law of attraction, you're also supposed to not totally act like that or believe that that's a thing. So how do you balance the practicality and reality and to the point where you're not getting into scarcity mindset?
Okay, the law of attraction, it's not a belief, it's like a fact. It's the way the world works. But a lot of people watch the movie, and the movie isn't about the law of attraction. The movie is a business. The movie is about making money for the producers. The movie is sadly about the people that made it, Rhonda, making a lot of money. And then guys like John Azaraf and that came in, well, they probably paid a lot of money to be in the law of attraction. So that's a little fundamental problem. But there is an actual book, Money and the Law of Attraction, by Esther and Abraham Hicks. And again, that's a bit of a conflict of interest. But they have 4 CDs of processes at the back of it. And there is some good stuff in there, but you'll get it a lot better now. If you do it again now, if you're NLP mind, you'll get a lot more of it. Because your average person coming in, they have the conflicts of, you know, I've got to be poor and saving, living below my means, but the book is telling me to spend money on myself and attract myself.
Exactly.
I can't explain exactly what it is as well, but I got that book around 2010 when doing a training, and it didn't do anything for me. I reread the book. A couple of years ago, and I also worked with a coach, and money started to pour, like money was pouring down. So the second or third time with coaching and NLP stuff, I really kind of got it.
Okay, can somebody type the name of that into the thing?
Yeah, I'll send you a picture. I think I've got
Great.
the book in another property though. Yeah.
Thank you, because that's the thing. I manifest everything else well, except, and I get enough money to be okay, but there's something else that's making me not get where I need to get. So that's why I was asking. So thank you so much.
Manifesting is absolutely great, guys. You can sit there and do a little yoga thing or a meditation thing, and or clear your financial beliefs. And I do this stuff, you know. So I do the meditation and manifesting stuff, but not to that kind of deep level of manifesting money, because I just go and actually make it. But we got to have our, as I think Johnny mentioned, the meridians or the chakra system. We have to get alignment. And if part of you are saying that I have to be poor and I don't have enough money, and the other part of you is saying, no, I have to do a law of attraction, then you get divided. Well, we actually got to find a way to integrate it and come in line.
So maybe there's a money chakra we're missing.
But yeah, the more the chakras are in line, we got to get our, you know, heart, head, gut, far more in line. I love making money, by the way. I love making money. It's great. I gave some money to Lifeline. Yeah. Making money is awesome. It's really good. We just got to get past our money stuff. I know some coaches that are absolutely fantastic, but they're getting a bit trapped by seeing these things on Facebook and LinkedIn, and they're trying a strategy from someone over here or a strategy from someone over here without fully understanding their minds. So Warren Buffett has a strategy which is like over here, you know. And if you're reading Warren Buffett, this kind of strategy and this kind of person, then you'll see these people on the internet talking about getting rich quick, and they're like talking about strategies over here. So it creates a lot of internal conflict. Hence, we should be talking about this stuff. And we should be talking about this stuff. One of the best things my dad ever said is, one of the biggest problems is people don't talk about money. We really got to be talking about money more.
Good point. And talking about money, so for everyone who's not able to see the PDF file, maybe because you're on the phone or so, I will share it with you via email, okay? And we have
a question.
Yeah.
Chris, like, can I quickly, like, there was someone faster. I'm sorry. iPhone, you had a question first, and then Chris comes next. iPhone, you can unmute yourself. Oh,
Yeah.
that's you.
Well, my name is Rabab.
Oh, Rabab, hey, good to see you.
Hi.
What's your question?
Thank you. I'm 34 years old, and when I was young, I set like a goal. I was like, when I'm 30, I will be rich. I will have the best car, the best house, the best everything. And I was working so hard to do everything. And whenever I start a project, I started with the mindset that it will win for sure, no doubt. But I end up losing. All my businesses have failed. And now,
It's
We've
okay.
been working really hard. You've been working really hard, haven't you?
no, sorry. If I start a business or just thinking about it, I feel the failure. already. Before I start, I feel like I failed already, because I failed a lot of times. Now I have no confidence that I would win. And before, I always imagined myself rich, and I was happy with whatever I do, that I'm for sure, no doubt, I will be rich. But now, sometimes, just thinking about me being rich, I'm like, no, maybe it's not for me. And now, I work three jobs, and I work so hard, but I'm still afraid to be rich, or worried to lose again. Or now I'm starting the trading online, but whenever I go to trade, I'm like, I see myself losing all that money already. I want to change the idea in my mind, but I can't change it. I did everything. I did yoga, I did meditation, I did everything. The symbols of wealth, I can show you all the symbols of wealth I have here, but nothing seems to work for me. I still have that fear of me losing again.
I hear what you're saying, and one of the very, very first things you said, I think it was the very first thing you said is, I will. And that's an implication for future. So you will make it. It's just you will make it is in future. We need to make it now.
Yeah.
Not in future. So when I say to myself, I'm going to be something, well, that implies it's in the future, not here. And they don't teach you that stuff in the books, because the books miss that stuff. And if you want to learn about trading, yeah, they'll teach you some stuff, but they don't realize how our language, we make success in future. We've got to make success here. I saw a coach. It was massive. I am a coach, but I got a coach, and my wealth was going up like this, and then I saw a coach, and then suddenly I reread the Money Law of Attraction book, and I was with a coach, and the next thing you know, it was flooding. We actually had floods, and I was doing a meditation. In the meditation, it says like something about when it rains, it pours, and it was raining, and it kept raining for 10 days straight. And I've got 2 properties which got flood damage, and like 2,000 homes got flooded. This place was on like the world news for flooding. And I made so much money that year. A lot of it, so much of it comes down from the coach. Stuff I was reading, but the coach as well. So please book a session with Janine, or the next lady is absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
I'll give you a couple of free sessions too. Like, it's no big deal for them to help you for free, and maybe they can pinpoint which one it is and put it behind you.
Also, like Adrian and Chris together, they're gonna start their NLP practitioner course tomorrow. And if you stay for the lucky draw session, you can also win a 4-week free course attendance of the NLP Accelerator. Rabab, we're already connected on WeChat, so I'll definitely get back to you and we see what we can do, okay?
Yeah, just briefly, Chris and I make plenty of cash, travel around the world doing what we want. Plus, Chris and I both put a pile of cash into the crypto stuff like months and months ago. So we're extra set. But the thing is, we want to see other people do it. We're sick of those tech bastards in Silicon Valley making it all and taking everyone's. So yeah, come check out our training, speak to Janine or someone about that, but get one of the guys here to coach you. I'll wrap it up here because we've got an absolutely fantastic coach coming up, Chris Damont here. She's based down in Shenzhen. She's from Brazil. She's awesome. I heard about her year after year after year. And then finally I went through Shenzhen to meet some coaches, and like 2 coaches turned up. It was just Chris. And we got on like a house on fire. So you did a good job picking her, Janine.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Rabab, thank you again for having the courage to speak up, because like this is the first step towards change. Yeah, we'll definitely contact each other again. Only because of the time, I gotta move on. Let me share the screen again.